With the lawmaking session at the Capitol over, state politicians now turn their heads to the interim period. From now until next January's budget session, lawmaking committees will meet around the state to hear from the public, experts, state officials, and local agencies about a whole range of topics affecting Wyomingites. Normally, the Management Council, featured on screen, determines topics and priorities for each committee, but much like this past legislative session, things are a little different this time around. Senator Tara Nethercott from Cheyenne proposed letting committee chairs make those decisions. She also floated reducing the number of days they meet in an effort to save the taxpayer money.
It's about $120,000 to $140,000 that we can save the taxpayers of Wyoming to reduce the amount of interim committee days from 6 to 4.
Her motion passed. However, committees are still free to request more days. As for the interim committee topics themselves, here are some I'll be watching over the next several months. The Corporations Committee has elections as its number one priority. Lawmakers passed a handful of election reforms this year, including new voting requirements like proof of citizenship and 30-day Wyoming residency. The committee notes it will take input from the Secretary of State, Chuck Gray. The Secretary has pushed for hand-counting ballots and banning ballot drop boxes. However, Senator Cale Case of Lander said before they dive into election bills, they're going to have county clerks walk them through a breakdown of voting machines used in elections for the public to view.
Our first meeting in Lander, they're going to bring in election equipment, show how the ballot procedures, how ballots are handled, the lock boxes and the chain of custody. We're going to go through all of that.
Tribal Relations Committee Chairman Representative Ivan Posey of Fort Washakie, a Democrat, spoke for this committee, highlighting topics of health, education, and checking in on the Indian Education for All Act. He also mentioned youth crime.
I read a report, about 3 weeks ago, about the increase of juvenile crime. It happens on the reservation, it happens in our state, and I think it's one area that we need to collaborate on and continue to address.
Two of the priorities for the Labor and Health Committee are rural health care and maternal medical care. Lawmakers looked into the state's maternal health care deserts last year, but didn't come up with any legislative fixes. The committee is also preparing to look into AI on health topics. The Travel and Recreation Committee will take on a topic that has been talked about frequently in Wyoming but didn't see much traction this session: gambling and gaming. Senator Bill Landon from Casper acknowledged there's a lot of work to do.
But I would commend to the Management Council this entire issue of gaming. I think we all know that we've got a big one there, and I think that it probably would require quite a bit more than one single standing committee can do in an interim, unless you want to give us 6 or 8 more days and 2 or 3 more staff.
For education, Representative Ocean Andrew of Laramie spoke to priorities of literacy, technical education, and a hot topic, charter schools.
We passed a removal of the charter school cap, and I think that we want to take a look at ways to make our charter authorizing board run more efficiently, look at some of the positions there, and see how we can help them most effectively approve the best charter schools and the ones that'll be the most successful.
Senator Wendy Schuler from Evanston briefly mentioned the committee's number one priority, school discipline, saying they think there's a lot of reasons for issues with kids in early grades, and that the committee wants to find out what those reasons are. A lot of committee chairs went out of their way to note they appreciate an effort to reduce time and save money, but some also said they would still need more time to hit their goals. Senator Nethercott reminded them they're more than welcome to request more time for any reason from the Management Council. Interim meetings start later this month. You can participate. Check out Wyoming's legislature's website to find out how. For Wyoming Public Media, I'm Jordan Uplinger.